Hello everybody, my name is Eric Terramons, and today we're going to be checking out a figure made by Amakuni, and this is from Idola Phantasy star Saga, and it's Jenny in her innocent, neutral, chaos, so-and-so. Idola Phantasy star Saga on Idola Phantasy star Saga, Summer Innocent Jenny Neutral Chaos. Say that 5 times fast. With a title that has a length equivalent to an entire thesis, this character is quite the interesting one. Upon first glance, you can see that she's mixed with all sorts of super spice, but at the same time, she's really bubbly, and there's certain elements that they chose not to add, which really help this character keep a lot of her cuteness, despite her being clearly over the top with certain aspects of her anatomy. If you'd like to see an unboxing for this figure, along with a quick overview, be sure to check out the link in my description down below. I'll also have a link for her My Figure anime collection page, so if you want to see her in other collections and things like that, you can always check out that link as well. Despite saying all this, none of my videos are sponsored except for by myself. I'm pretty old school and hardcore like that. But with that aside, it's time to get in on this figure. Her base is a transparent red plastic. It seems thick enough. I guess it's all right. I kind of like the design that we have on the front. That's kind of fun with the little arrows and the whole Jenna neutral chaos. However, they didn't write Summer Innocent on there, which I find intriguing considering that's like all part of her name. An issue I have with transparent bases like this is that often you can see the production stamp underneath where this one says copyright Saga, made in China. They should have written that on the inside border to the base. What the heck, Amakuni? And comparing her base real quick to the OG Kotobukiya Jenny, this base is such a cool one. I love it so much, and it's just because of this border that we have around the outside, which is crazy to think that they could have just added that here and maybe made it feel a little more beach style or demonic kind of thing to go with her horns and her whole aesthetic in this one. Too bad they didn't do that. She wobbles quite a bit, as you can see, and if you watch my unboxing video, you'll know that the peg that goes into her foot here is extremely short. It is made out of metal, and the plastic around her shoe here is a very solid plastic, so I'm not too worried that it's just going to break or go flying off, but I would still not place her on anything that's going to get too much movement. If you put her on top of your computer, or let's say a bookshelf that moves and rocks back and forth, I'm not only worried that over time she's going to lean, because this is a really heavy figure, and just having one single peg there for the amount of weight you get out of her is crazy risky. The peg should have gone up higher in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there. Not only that, she has this little dress here, and this thing moves around if you don't remove it, and so with the movement, you can kind of scratch her over time. Just be mindful of this. And one last thing to mention about the base is that she's rather off-center on it. This is usually the sort of thing that I don't mind. I can find it looks pretty cool, and depending on how you angle her or you position her, she'll look more like her body is moving towards the middle because of the angle that she's taking. It's not bad, but I don't think that it's amazing. Luckily, the peg is just a square, and you can always remove her and put her to have her name on the side, which actually will center the figure on the base a little better. I bet you thought I didn't notice this thing fall over. Her super cute ice cream cone does not peg into anything. Her super cute ice cream cone doesn't actually peg into anything. You just kind of slide it in her hand, so that's another thing you gotta be mindful of, because it can easily just fall out whenever you're trying to move her around. Her shoes are freaking awesome. I love the design to them, the whole heel, and how we have this cool little diamond motif underneath. The use of a nice reflective high gloss going into more of a semi-gloss. The left foot has this shroud that goes over the top, while the right one is nice open, and we have this leg necklace piece that actually isn't pegged in there or glued in there. It can move around a little bit. Beautiful shading on the darker brown materials, and her feet look really cute with their nails all painted up like that. As we go up into her legs, the plastic itself feels softer than I would say most figures I've ever handled before on this channel. And the shading is wild. Very, very good shading to go with near perfect anatomical legs that would be of this thicker variety. I'm just gonna put this here for now. The shaping of the legs are absolutely beautiful, and I find the overall anatomy for this character's body is not something that you see that often in a lot of more standard anime figures. Oh, they exist, and there are plenty of them. I'm just saying that for something that's not hitting that X-rated bracket, this is pretty surprising. As the legs go up and into her waist, I find the cutout lines around here are a little intense, but seen from a distance on a shelf, it comes out looking pretty good. As we slowly move towards her behind, this is very shapely and the way everything kind of bevels out feels quite anatomically correct. Much more realistic than what you would get from usually over-accentuated figures. If you're gonna over-accentuate, you might as well go 200%, much like her chest. The thong-style bathing suit that she's wearing is cute. The pink that we have here is done in a semi-gloss. Personally, I think I would have liked it to be a hyper-gloss to match up the top that she has on. The back, we have this cute little ribbon. I'm personally not a fan of the low cut. I just don't like that. Every time I see that on any kind of design, I'm always thinking, man, that looks uncomfortable. Like, I feel like I would keep pulling it up, you know? But hey, some people are into this and I'm not dunking on it. It's a style choice. While we get into the front, everything here is really nice and it feels like a thick, comfortable bathing suit. A lot of times these kind of bathing suits have really thick padding on them so it doesn't show off every single part of the human anatomy, and this does an excellent job at doing that. It feels very realistic. Some of you might be a little bit sad about this. Personally, I really like it. It helps make things a little less spicier than they could have been while really keeping a more cute aspect. And getting into her side here, you can see that if you like this video just a little bit, why not hit that like, that subscribe, and the notification bell? This way you'll be notified of my future videos. Little golden grommets that almost look like they're bolted into her skin, which I could believe considering she's kind of a mecha girl. With this adorable mini skirt of sorts, I say that because it's so short, transparent, and wafty and clear. Clearly a bathing suit style skirt. The belt is oversized while she's wearing it, which is kind of cool. It looks fun considering that she's already quite the curvy character. The belt itself looks freaking awesome, and I love all the accessories that we have with these cute little different colored elemental looking diamonds. Had they decided to make this a permanent thing on her, they could have done the whole beveling of the skin and really molded the skirt to flow with a certain dynamic or direction of some wind or something perhaps. I always find it kind of unfortunate to have these removable take apart pieces because it always comes off as a bit of an afterthought. They know that they're going to be putting them on in the design, but they still need to think of everything that's going on underneath, and so I'm just a little less into that. I would have preferred if it was either on her forever or not. Her stomach is quite beveled, really well shaded, and it looks fantastic for somebody that would be of the more beautiful curvy variety. Though I do find from first glance her belly button is a little high. Looking at her from a distance, it does seem pretty centered on her body. I guess when I'm drawing my characters, I tend to illustrate their belly buttons just a bit lower. A lot of subjectiveness going on with this figure. She then has this rainbow style pearlescent top white attachment that goes underneath her chest and around onto the back, where there's a cute little pink bow holding everything together. You can see the back end strap of her bathing suit. Her back is incredibly well defined. She is very muscular back there, as she should be to hold up this kind of weight on a day-to-day basis. I'm sure some of you out there can relate to this, and it honestly must be pretty rough sometimes. Her chest is pretty hardcore, explosive, dynamic, in your face. It's just... This is the part where anatomically it gets really over the reins in comparison to the rest of this figure, which is, you know, par for the course for anime and really for a beach episode. They've definitely upsized her from her original design. We actually get quite a bit of shading around here with some really faint highlights that make things just pop a little nicer. The chest tattoo that is like the logo from Idola Phantasy Star Saga, that's something. Her bathing suit top is a lovely reflective pearlized pink, and similar to the lower half, it looks like it's made out of a thicker material that doesn't show off all of her anatomy too much, though to some, just a bathing suit can be considered not safe for work. Just keep in mind that she had more thinner proportions. This kind of bathing suit might not have come off as being as explicit as it does here. Just the way the world works when you're gorgeously thick. She has bolts along the top that again look to be bolted into her body, which I just think is cool. And the fact that these strings go up and around her neck to her collar, where they float over her chest, really shows the weight in which this bathing suit has to hold. The back of her little sailor cape thing is freaking awesome. The gradient, absolutely beautiful. The electric blue that we have, cut out design with a little heart and these tiny horns on the heart. This is so nice. I can't believe how well executed almost every little aspect to this figure is. I just didn't see it coming. The way they spike out around her shoulders and come down along the front, where we have this fun little design in the center that really feels Xenoblade-ish. It looks really cool. She has that little sailor scarf holding everything together in this cream egg color. It's somewhat reflective, and it kind of calls back a bit to the color we get from her hair, but not exactly. I feel like maybe they could have done it in a white and material similar to her belt. This arm is really well designed from the armpit all the way to the elbow. She has these cute little bands made out of different types of materials to really give her more personality. Her gloves just look freaking badass with the cutouts on the knuckles and the way that they're cut out fingers. And we have a nice callback to her toes with the beautiful fingernail polish here. Lovely colors. Arm skin bevels in perfectly as we have this lovely arm band. She has a few extra lovely bracelets and done with different types of materials so they all pop out just a little more. Her hand here also looks excellent, and the ice cream itself has incredibly good shading. I'm surprised at how good the shading is on this ice cream cone with a little bit of highlights. It looks like she has 1 scoop of vanilla with a mint chocolate on top. I'm personally not a huge mint chocolate fan, but my wife is like freaking obsessed with it. She has this beautiful necklace with a cute little diamondy thing on the end. It would have been nice to have this be transparent. I feel like I'm asking a lot here. It depends on the stone. It might be one that's not transparent, so what do I know? Where her brown choker looks decent, I might have liked maybe either the carving to be a little bit stronger around the fold piece that is holding everything together, but it's by no means a deal breaker. She has ears, and you can kind of see the way her face is glued onto her neck from the back. It's really not too bad. Not perfect, but it does kind of come off as an illustration with the line art. The shaping of her face is absolutely perfection. It's the round kind of cuteness in all its glory that I freaking love like crazy. We get a high gloss for her tongue, which is beautiful, though personally, I would have given her lipstick. She's got the nails, the toenails, might as well have had the lipstick be in that blue as well, but not having it really does feel more anime, and she is about to hit the water, so does she necessarily need to have lipstick on? Yes, no, yes, no. She has some blush on her cheekbones, which is incredibly faint. Depending on the angle that you see her from, you're not even going to notice. Her eyes have a lovely reflected decal look to them, but the decal itself is very beautiful. The eyelashes themselves are done with a matte. I enjoy this. It kind of gives you that watery effect of somebody's eye. The eyebrows seem to be going up in a manner that makes her look like she's doing kind of like this, like somewhat smug, confident. Whoever she's smiling at and sticking her tongue out, she's pretty confident in herself. Getting into this hair, we have a lot of shading, and we even have quite a bit of highlights. The amount of strands we have here are absolute insanity, and looking extremely close, there's not that many lines where it looks like they just glued in chunks of hair to create like a little strand popping out here or there. Oh, we have some, but they're usually layered underneath larger chunks of hair, and this is extremely professional and the way that it should usually be done. Man, there's nothing I hate more than just a pure cutout with just the hair glued on the side here, and you just see it, and you're just like, ugh, gross. While the main headpiece for her hair is all one chunk, pretty well sculpted, nice shading, and we get a little bit of a pearlized effect all over her hair, which is why we have a nice shine going across it. It's just the front part that is a little bit more matte. Her glasses are very faintly transparent. We have a nice gradient here, and the fact that they use kind of like a speckled gold in there, it really does reflect the light super well. Feels very similar to a real pair of glasses. And her whole pose of holding on to them and everything really looks good and very natural, just adding to the fact that her base anatomy is exceptionally well done. Holding her twin tails together are these somewhat pinkish Aztec-style designs going all across. They do have that kind of demonic energy, summoning circle aura going on with them. Personally, I probably would have added some gold along the outside of them. It would have matched up nice with the rest of her design, as well as her horns, which really look fantastic. These horns having this sweet gold down the bottom where it cuts up into just a unique, weird, demonic kind of look. They're hyper gloss. The different layers of color we see here are actually textured on. It's not just painted or printed. And the fact that they're pink matches up with her bathing suit, making her a cute, pretty in pink monster robot girl. Upon her release, she was going for 23,500 yen, and do I think that's expensive? When I was looking at her, I really struggled with the idea of picking her up in the first place, but as I really love monster girls, and the classic original Jenna is one of my favorite, the tan skin, the horns, I don't really have a beach girl episode figure, so the whole thing made me kind of pull the trigger on getting her, crossing my fingers and hoping for the best. I'm pleasantly surprised. I can't believe at what point the level of detail and paint application and sculpt work on her is so exceptional. Well done, Amakuni. You really worked hard on this. Due to the level of how much she's showing off and of course her over-exaggeration in anatomy around her chest, this figure's not going to be for everyone. A lot of you won't be able to just put her on your shelf and leave her there during the holidays or when family comes over to visit. Maybe you have a bunch of kids running around and you're not necessarily into showing them explicit stuff like this. We all have our different ways of doing things. I personally don't really mind so much when people make comments or things like that when they come over. I just make jokes about it. I try to keep things light around here. Hopefully with this review, decide which side of the fence you are in getting her or not. Are you a big fan of this kind of Monster Girl beach episode? Do you maybe prefer the original? I really love the original. But dang if I don't think that this one is just exceptionally well made. And I feel so conflicted because I can tell you Monster Girls are my favorite thing ever, but my collection would probably say otherwise. Are you more in the Monster Girl spectrum, or do you kind of gravitate more towards the robot ones? This video is over. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Done and done. Don't think I needed to wear a bathing suit this whole entire time, considering it was hidden, but hey, no one can't say I'm not authentic.